Hey guys, we're back with another episode about body image today. I don't know, it's a very scary topic to talk about, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't have any advice. I don't have any professional advice to help people to feel better about their bodies and their physical appearance, whatever. But I'm here today to just talk about my experience because I thought, why not share it? For me personally, I don't really find it helpful to consume self love advice online because it just some of them would resonate, but at the same time, it's you listen to it and you're like, that just sounds great. It's a beautiful sentence, it's a nice quote, but then does it really help you? That's arguable, you know? I feel like it helps me personally if I listen to someone else's experience versus them giving advice about what works, because I feel like ultimately what works for you is probably going to be different than what works for other people, and things are just so redundant these days. It's yeah, love yourself, I'm just going to get right into it, right? I think for me personally, I've always been known as this skinny girl. Not that I really always feel very skinny, but let me go back to when I was 11 or 12 years old. That's when I start becoming body conscious, is when I had to go to swim class in middle school. We call it year 7, but I don't fucking know if this even makes any sense to anyone, but I grew up in Hong Kong and I went to a private school. But yeah, in year 7, when I was about 11 or 12 years old, I remember having to put on these swimsuits and go to swim class. And the swim class was a mixture of girls and boys, you know? And I don't know, that probably made it worse because I was like, oh my god, what the fuck? I have to wear this swimsuit thing not only in front of all the girlies, but I have to wear it in front of all the boys. And at that point, I don't even think I can't really comprehend having a real crush. I don't really care about anyone in my grade, whatever. But it was so weird because I'm like, ugh, that's how I look like. You know what I mean? I put on those, it's a super, conservative swimsuit. It's a short sleeve and, short onesie bodysuit type shit that you zip up. And then I also had to put on, a Speedo, a swim cap type shit that, sucks all your hair in it. That shit hurt. That shit gave me a fucking headache. But anyways, I remember having to put on that swimsuit and I looked in the mirror while all the other girlies were also getting ready. I was like, whoa, hold up. Something's not right here, because why the fuck do I look like a stick figure? And I was getting really concerned about the way I look, because I didn't really care about the way I look prior to that. I don't think at least I don't remember. But I remember everyone looked like they had meat on their bones. Everyone looked like they are nourished and healthy. While I look like I could possibly be starving myself, which is not true. That's just how my body was built at that time, and I can't do anything about it. But I remember looking into mirror and I was the only one that was so sickly skinny looking that I felt so disgusting. And I remember being in the toilet stall and just being like, oh my god, I can't do this. My anxiety is through the roof. I don't think I can even walk out of here and go enter the pool because I don't like the way I look. I feel so uncomfortable in my own skin, and I think that's the first memory I've had that I'm I don't like existing in my body because it makes me feel disgusting. And I don't know why do I not look like everyone else? Why is my arm so stick skinny? I'm sorry, I'm being so negative, but I'm just trying to be the most transparent and honest about my experience with my body. I'm trying to be all right, but this is what I realized, and this is what I've learned. Now get there. But that gave me so much anxiety. I remember every time the night before swim class, I would just ruminate and be like, oh my god, fuck, I have to do this. And I can't exactly skip it because I tried to be guys, I'm on my period, I can't go to swim class. Mind you, I got my period at 14, so that excuse isn't, I was just pretending to have a fucking period. I don't even know. But after a while, you can't use that excuse anymore, and I just eventually had to go. And I don't have parents that would be like, okay, you can skip swim class, it's fine. No, bitch, I had to go. And I remember just feeling so gross. And another thing too is fuck, it's always a physical, what is it? It's always a physical class. What the fuck do you call it? PE. Physical education. Yeah, whatever the fuck. Okay. It's always those classes that like, ugh. I swear to God, my body image is crumbling in those situations. Not only do I have to experience that during swim class, I also remember during PE lessons, I had to wear shorts, right? And having to wear shorts means having to show your bare legs. And mind you, I was like 11 and 12 years old, and I probably don't even know anything about shaving, but I was fucking hairy, okay? Sorry. I don't know, like, damn, like, most Chinese kids don't really have hairy legs, or at least the girls in my class, they don't. Everyone has like perfect baby dolphin legs, and I was sitting there with like all hairy legs, and I'm just like, fuck, you know? And it's like in the middle of summer. I can't exactly be like, oh, I'm gonna wear like track pants instead because you guys, I don't want to show my legs. Like, that would be even more obvious. And I remember like having hairy ass legs with, mind you, I also have bruises everywhere because I love to just like go around and like fuck about, climb rocks and run around, and I always like injure myself. I'm a very clumsy person. Till this day, I'm so very clumsy. But yeah, like I just have bruises and cuts covered in my legs, and I have hairy ass legs, and I just remember being like, what the fuck? Like, why can't I look normal? What the fuck is wrong with me? Like, why does everyone have perfect legs and perfect smooth baby skin legs, and I just have hairy gorilla legs, and I'm also tanner than everyone else? Like, what's going on? Like, why am I so different? And I just like hated PE so much. That's when I like started the first like initial feeling where I like hated being in my own body. Like, I remember learning how to shave for the first time, and I got like fucking razor burns everywhere. And my mom was yelling at me. She was like, you can't shave your legs because the shit's gonna grow back like a lot thicker and you're gonna fucking regret it. I still do it. And I remember I was so like, I hated the way my body looked because I was so tan. I was like naturally tan because I would go to the beach like for 30 minutes and I already be like 10 shades darker than all my classmates, right? It's just inevitable. I don't know, like my genetics, bitch. Like, fucking sue me. And I would go to class and I'm just so much darker than everyone else, and I can already tell like I'm so different than everyone else, and it just made me so self-conscious. I remember using lemon. Like, I remember going on WikiHow and be like, how to make your skin look lighter, how to bleach your skin naturally, home remedies type shit. And I remember going to like WikiHow, whatever the fuck, and it tells me to use like lemon juice, and I would go to the fucking fridge at home and just like lather lemon juice all over my legs and my face. That shit burn. Like, I'm like, what are you doing? Now looking back, I'm like, holy motherfuck. Like, I wish somebody could have just stopped me because of what are you doing? But I remember having to like fucking bleach my skin every day I get home, and I'm like, yeah, I don't like the way I look. I just remember being like, fuck, I don't like that I do not look like everyone else. What's going on? Like, clearly we're all ethnically the same, but my body is saying, bitch, you got more melanin than everyone else. Pisses me off. But yeah, I had to like put fucking lemon juice on my face, and that shit was not pleasant. There's no conclusion to this. Yeah, I just remember bleaching my fucking face and like shaving my legs with like dull razor because I didn't know better, and I was just googling shit on like Yahoo Answers. Well, that's the best I could do. I don't know. And then fast forward to like when I was 16, I remember seeing, I don't even know, did social media exist back then? I don't know. But I remember like viciously looking up ab workouts on YouTube, and the first one that came up was like Alexis Ren's ab workout. And I remember like I would do that in my room like consistently, and not in like a nice way, not in like a, oh, like let's work out, let's treat your body. It's like a, you're so disgusting, go work out, bitch. Like, ew, I hate your body, go work out. It felt like a punishment, and I feel so sad for younger me, because like I remember always working out in like with such like hatred in my heart for my body. I'm like, ew, I don't like this. Why don't I have a six pack? Why don't I have that 11 line thing on my stomach? And I remember like working out, and I feel so embarrassed by it. Like, whenever my parents are out there, I would like shut the door and like work on a corner of my room, and I would not let anyone know about this. As soon as I feel like they're coming into my room, I would stop immediately. But I remember like doing these workouts, and I would always look in the mirror and be like, okay, is my abs here? I would work out for 10 minutes and then go straight to the mirror and be like, where are my abs? Where are they? Hello? I don't think I knew how to work out properly. I would just do these like at home workouts and then think that, oh yeah, I'm gonna get abs, whatever. But I always had like an issue with my stomach. I just never get that like that like hourglass shape. Maybe I do, but in my head, I'm like, why the fuck is it so not hourglass? Like, can we just slim that shit down? And I tried. I don't know. Maybe I can try harder. Until this day, I still don't know. Like, till this day, I think I've just gotten a little bit more, not comfortable, but I've gotten a little bit more, like, accepting of my body shape. And it's just like, okay, whatever. I guess I can't exactly go to that super slim waist and, like, thicker thighs and, like, broad shoulders. So I have that hourglass look as much as I want to. Like, I know some days I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling myself. Like, fuck, I look great, right? But then most days I'm like, oh my God, like, ugh. I'm so critical of my body, and I'm not proud of this. I feel like I've always been like that, and I want to change that so badly. And I know I'm like making little steps every day to like hopefully go to a better direction with the way I view and treat my body. But I remember like up to like last year, it's always been very much like punishment. It's like work out because I hate the way I look, or it's like work out because you just ate all these food and you don't fucking deserve to not work out because what the fuck? Like you just ate a box of cookies, like you're disgusting, go work out. And I remember always like having this like fucked up relationship with my body. And that's fine. I don't think it's like that. I mean, it's bad, but it's not. I feel like a lot of people could relate to, and especially with social media, I feel like that just completely exacerbates like how negatively you view your body. Fast forward to like college, right? Is when I like started growing into my body essentially. I think I just glowed up a little bit inevitably because you just go through puberty, whatever. And I also am like such a fucking late bloomer because I didn't even get my period until 14. So like I didn't even start developing boobs until I was like maybe like 18, 19 when I was like going to college. So and I was like, okay, shit, like didn't know my body could do that. But the most ironic thing too is like when my body starts developing into more like a womanly body and like objectively like it's a little bit better, that's when my self-esteem and like insecurity issues with like my body was like crazy. Like the more that I think, okay, I could potentially look more ideal to how I want to look is when I struggle the fucking most of my body issues. Like why is that? That probably because I don't know, maybe I was just on social media a lot and just like always on the internet comparing myself to other people, and you know everything on the internet is just so perfect, picture perfect, 10 out of 10, and I just can't compete. And like when you have that feeling when you know you can't compete or you can't even live close enough to that standard, you just pick yourself apart. And it's like I look back at pictures of myself in college and I was like, wait girl, you look fine. Like if anything, I would die for your body right now, because what do you mean? Like, you have such a skinny waist. Like, why were you so mad about your body? What's going on? I could still remember that, like, gut-wrenching, like, feeling you get when you, like, are struggling so bad with your body. And you go online and you look at everyone that, like, looks perfect and that looks the way you want to look and just has, like, the perfect, like, abs and, like, skinny waist and, like, big thighs and whatever. Okay? Like, it doesn't matter what the body standard was, if it was like the Victoria's Secret body or it was it like the Kim K like big booty body. Either one, it just makes me feel so bad. And I remember when I was in my first relationship, this guy that I was dating, he like would follow so many like Instagram bikini model people. Motherfucker was following like half the population of girls that looked super fucking hot. And I'm just like, let me look back at that. I feel like that really destroyed my confidence. Because I remember, like, I was, like, slowly growing into my body, and I was like, okay, like, I could maybe work with this. Like, it's not the worst. I'm starting to notice a little bit of, like, attention from guys, and it's not like I was, like, seeking for them, but I'm like, okay, cool. Like, the fact that they're coming in, and, like, I'm going to college, and I feel, like, more grown up, whatever. Like, I'm more proud of my body, whatever. It's when, like, I start seeing all these comparisons online, and I remember, like, every time I go on Instagram, I'd see this boy that I was dating that would always like every picture of these girls, and it would just show up and like so and so liked this picture, and like I could tell. I mean, it's there, and I was so. I feel so bad for my younger self, whatever. Like I just want to give her a hug. But I remember like looking at all these Instagram models, whatever, that like the guy I was dating at that time would like pictures of. I would go and follow all these girls because I genuinely was like, all right, the fact that he's liking these girls' picture is not pissing me off, but it's making me insecure. And I need to do something about my body, and I'm so disgusted with the way I look. So I need to follow these girls and then make sure that I like aspire to be like them every single day. And if I follow them, I have a daily reminder that like, okay, every time I pull out Instagram, I'm like, if I don't look this way yet, I gotta keep working for it. I gotta go to the gym. I gotta eat less. I gotta eat less carbs. I gotta work out more. I gotta go on the treadmill more. Whatever. Like, I was just so unhappy with myself, and I remember using that as kind of like quote unquote like a fuel to like help myself better myself, but honestly it was just nothing but toxic. Like, that heart sinking feeling every time I go on Instagram being like, oh my god, fuck, like I don't even want to like exist in my body. I was like, this is so sad. And like, or I would do this thing where I like screenshot their photos and then take a like a side by side picture of myself and then like kind of go back and forth on my camera roll and be like, do I look like this? Is my waist skinny enough? Do I have this? Do I have that? And it was just so detrimental to my mental health. And I just remember like being so overwhelmed. And mind you, like, this guy that I was dating, half his fucking following was all these Instagram models, and not him here being like, you're so beautiful, like, you're perfect, blah blah. And then I see him liking all these like quote unquote perfect girls, and I'm like, you're fucking lying. Like, I don't trust anything you say. And I remember like completely not even like seeing the fact that he followed other Instagram models that were basically half naked, like, as a disrespectful thing to do if you're dating somebody. I thought like, okay, shit, like, if I don't aspire to be like them, if my body doesn't look anything similar to them, I am fucking worthless. Like, I'm a piece of shit, and nobody deserves to love me. Like, it was so bad. Like, you know, like, now saying this, I'm like, this is so depressing. But that's how that was what it was for like a couple of years in college, is how I felt about my body. And never once did I go like, oh my god, like, you gotta stop following these people because it is making me so insecure and blah blah blah. I felt like it was completely normal and I was a fucking problem. I remember going to an extent of even asking the guy that was dating back then, I was like, hey, like, what is your ideal girl's body? Like, can you give me an example so I can follow? Or like, I didn't say that explicitly, but in my head I was like, I would even make her my screensaver because I need to be reminded every single day that I'm not good enough and I need to strive for that body. Otherwise, I'm not lovable. Like, hello, what the fuck? But I remember like asking him, be like, show me who you think has a perfect body because I need to go for that. And it's just so fucking sad, honestly. All I'm trying to say is like, Instagram was so toxic for me. Like, I remember even sitting there and like, let's say I saw like a picture of myself that I'm proud of, and I would want to post it. But then in my head, I was like analyzing and like picking myself completely apart, being like, is this even worth it to post? Because I can't compete with any of the girls that like I follow or I see. And it's like, what's the point? If I can't even live up to that expectation, I shouldn't even put myself out there because that's just embarrassing. But then I would post it because like I have this, I don't even know. Like, I have moments where I'm like, ew, like, God, like, kill yourself. And then there are moments where I'm like, wait, you look hot. Like, wait, I like this photo of you, and like I just feel like you should post it because like, why not? So like, I don't even know. I battle between the two, and then I eventually always post it. Not always, but like maybe like 65% of the time I would post it, and then when I do, it's like, even if I'm like proud of that picture and I would post it, I would feel so insecure. Like, the moment I put it out there, I'm like, oh my god, fuck, I'm being like evaluated right now. I'm like, I'm being perceived, and I'm so scared. And like, should I just delete it? Maybe I should just go ghost mode, and I should never use Instagram again. Maybe I should delete social media. Like, as a girl, I'm still I'm still struggling with like body image. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's not like, oh, I'm talking about this right now because everything is good and perfect. No, it's not. It has gotten better throughout the years, and I'm gonna get to the point where like tell you guys like the things that has helped me. But ultimately, I feel like it's just like a battle in its own, and it's just kind of like a never-ending journey in terms of like finding peace within yourself and like accepting yourself without like punishing and changing so many things about you. But anyways, back on like posting on Instagram, I still have this battle with like posting on Instagram, and it's so stupid. Whatever, like, I want to get over it so badly. I want to post and I want to feel proud of the photos that I post, and I want to feel good about myself, okay? Like, everyone does, okay? If you have a picture of yourself that you think looks good, you want to post it. Whether it's for yourself, whether it's for validation, doesn't matter. Like, we're not judging here, okay? Like, I'm sure we all have those desires where we want to like post something because we think we look good. But as soon as I post it, I just like my brain just starts spinning. Like, it's, even if I thought, oh my God, like, I love the way my body looks because I've been going to the gym and like I've been working so hard, and like a couple of years me would be so proud of how I look right now. But then a huge part of me is also like, no, but now you're posting that picture to be critiqued. I guess like the easy solution is to like stop posting, stop caring, stop taking pictures, just enjoy the moment. Like, who gives a fuck? But at the same time, I'm almost like, maybe if I honor the part of myself where like if I like a picture that was taken of me, I should just put it out there because I'm proud and I'm happy with it. And like part of doing that is to battle with your own like self-doubt and like insecurities. And maybe I don't want to just completely shut myself down and like be like, all right, just go ghost mode, like never use social media again. It's like I don't want it to be like that either because I don't know, it feels like not fair to myself. And I don't know, whatever, I don't even know what I'm fucking saying, and maybe this doesn't make any sense. I have a lot of compassion for my younger self, and I really wish that I didn't feel so much pressure to be like quote unquote perfect and have the perfect body, whatever, even though like objectively speaking I don't think I look that bad. Like objectively speaking I feel like I'm still like a skinny queen, and I still like have, I shouldn't hate my body so much is what it is. Also, probably I have to touch on like the fact that I grew up in like Asia, the fact that I grew up in Hong Kong. I feel like the beauty standard there is like quite extreme compared to, I don't know, maybe more extreme than it is in America, because I feel like in America there's a lot more like diversity, and like people seem to be a little bit more accepting with like your body weight, and like it just isn't so you have to be stick skinny and like that's the only way to go, like otherwise like fuck you. I don't even know, but I feel like in America at least like there are variety of body shapes that like you would see and are exposed to, but in Asia it's like I've never even felt like I fit in like, for example, like I feel like I'm way too tan. Like everyone's gonna like, growing up I've had people bully me about how tan I am and how I just don't even look Chinese, and like I should go back to Africa because what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, why are you so fucking tan? Like, ew. And then I was also too tall for my fucking age group. Like I was always taller than all the girlies, and I was the same height as the guys or even taller than them. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like I feel so insecure and so like uncomfortable with my skin, and like everyone's like pale and perfect, and while I'm like the opposite, and like that already like got me so insecure. It's suffocating. Okay. And like I get it, like every culture has its like body standards and whatever, like who cares, like you don't really have to subject yourself to it. But like growing up in that environment too, like I have comments like that all the time growing up. It's like, oh, you're way too skinny, like eat more or whatever. And then I would also have my own mother being like, no, you can't wear shorts because you have cellulite, and like that looks so bad, and like that's embarrassing, you should never wear shorts, like you can't wear shorts anymore, you're not 12 anymore, you can only wear shorts when you're young, but now that you have cellulite you can't wear shorts anymore because you can't embarrass yourself like that. You know what I mean? Or it's like I don't know, I think a lot of things too is like growing up what your parents tell you. And like I remember my mom would say the most vile shit, and like it really like stuck to my brain. Like for example, like when I started growing like boobs, my mom would be like, oh, you can't wear certain like clothing anymore, you can't have like V-cut t-shirts anymore because that shows cleavage, and like that's inappropriate, and you're blah 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 blah. And while I'm just trying to be fucking comfortable, and like it made me so aware of my body in like a negative way, and I never really feel like comfortable because I just keep having people around me like critiquing how I look, and then eventually that kind of becomes like my inner voice. And I remember sometimes like when I'm super harsh with myself, I'm like, where does this voice come from? Because I don't know if it comes from me. Sometimes it might come from I don't know, it might come from my mom actually, so I don't know. But I feel like growing up is just kind of like untangling all of that and like slowly being like, all right, I get why you feel like this and it's okay, but let's work towards that. I don't even think I've really came super far when it comes to like the body image issue until I've like started going to the gym like in a fixed routine, like not just going every like once every 2 months and like doing a little ab workout in my room. Like last summer is when I was like, all right bitch, you gotta go to the gym, but not in like a punishing myself way, but it's almost like I think I started like seeing inspiration of like people around me, either it's like friends or like people on the internet like working out and like having a consistent schedule and like feeling good about their body and like building muscles and becoming stronger, is when I'm like, all right, maybe I can try that for myself. Because I remember like I started liking going to hiking, and I thought to myself, if I had like stronger legs where I can climb these motherfucking stairs faster, and I could maybe hike faster than my friends and maybe have better stamina so that I could do all these fun things with my body that I love so much because I love the outdoors, then it could be like a rewarding thing. So I started going to the gym for that. But I'm not gonna fucking lie. When I first started going to the gym, it wasn't because of that. It was because I was going through a fucking horrible. I realized something really fucking horrible about like some relationship stuff. I don't really want to get into, right? Whatever. And I was like, all right, bitch. Like I'm so like I've never felt this much rage in my body before. I was like, I'm so angry. Like I felt so betrayed. Whatever. Not gonna get into it. And I was like, okay, let me go try out this gym thing. And I did. And every time I come out of the gym, I feel like I just like fought war. I just feel like I went to like 5 wars, and I was like, I couldn't even like walk up the stairs properly because I was like completely drained from how far I pushed myself in the gym because I had all these pent up energy, and I've used that fuel to kind of like go work out, and I've been like very consistent with that. A couple of months of doing that, I started seeing like a lot of results. I just felt a lot stronger, and I could up the weights ever so slightly every like 2 weeks or something. And then I started recognizing, okay, not only is this helping me release all this like pent up anger, but it also is making me realize I actually could do all these things with my body, and I'm like kind of proud of it. You know, it's like as a girly, you know, when you go to the gym and you train your upper body, it's like, oh my God, it's so embarrassing because I can't even lift the first 10 pounds and I'm already like fucking dying and like all winded. And then I keep consistently doing that for like a couple of weeks. And then I realize I can go from like a 10 to like 20 and then 20 to 30. I haven't gone to 40 yet, okay? But like a little jump right there. I'm like, that's crazy that I can do that. And then I started like doing little like assisted pull-ups. And then I realized every time I do it, I just get stronger and stronger. And it made me fall in love with going to the gym. I just love the progress. And it made me so happy that like I realized it's not just about aesthetic, and I'm just so proud of myself for that, even though like physically it doesn't show as much, and like maybe I'm the only person that noticed a little bit of that line right there, like, oh, I realized like my arms gotten a little bit more definition, but I realized probably nobody noticed about that except me. But I am the one that knows like the hard work that I put into it and like the consistency. So I didn't just train for aesthetic reasons. I trained just for like mental health and just like pushing myself in that way. And now like I don't really have that pent up anger in me anymore. I don't really feel the need to like go 110 every time I go to the gym and like completely kill myself over it. It just becomes this like part of your day where you're like, all right, like I don't mind it, I don't hate it anymore, I don't dread going to the gym. It has helped me with my body image the most because I think it has shown me like my body's capable of more things than just looking good. Like I maybe can challenge myself. I can't believe I could just hip thrust that. That's crazy. Like I'm looking at all those weights. I'm like, there's no way this bitch can just hip thrust that. Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh yeah, like now my life is perfect and I go to the gym and I love my body. No, I do not. Like, no, I have had so super bad days. Like the other day too, like I remember I felt really good about my body just because I was going to the gym consistently and I was like eating well and putting my steps in and like getting sunlight in and like moving my body, leaving the house, whatever, like all these basic stuff that you just discover that you need when you're older. I've been doing all those, so I do feel pretty good about myself. And then I remember going to like the beach, and I was like, all right, perfect. Like, let me like, well, take some pictures and stuff. Like, who cares? And then I was feeling great in the moment. As soon as I came home, I was like, gonna look through my pictures, and then I was just so disgusted with the way I look. I was like, ew, like, why does my waist look like that? Like, I don't know. I just was like so disappointed because in my head, I felt so good about my body. Felt so good about everything that I was doing and taking care of myself. And then I looked at the pictures and it didn't match the reality, like the perception I had in my head. I was like, what the fuck? Like, why does my waist not look like that? Like, I thought it was looking better and it doesn't. And why do I look like I still have like cellulite or fat on my body? And I just like it's not as bad anymore because like I think before I would honestly just like ruminate and like spiral and probably just like be so dramatic over it. Now I'm a little bit better, but I know I still have my bad days. Like I like, trust me. And then I go on Instagram and I'm like, should I post this picture? Should I not? And then I look at other people's bodies. I'm like, okay, clearly I still cannot live up to that expectation. So I shouldn't really post this, and I just feel horrible. I don't know, like it's just such a fucking annoying cycle to go through. And now I feel like after a little bit of that, I snap out of it and I'm like, okay, it's fine. I think you look fine and I think you look great, and it's not all about looks. Like not everything is about looks. Like you have so much more to offer as a human being, and looks should not be such an important factor. But the one thing too is like I know that for sure. My how I look and how my body looks for is not the most important thing that I have to offer, okay? Like I know that, duh. Like I don't want to sit here and be like, "Oh my god, like I'm so obsessed with how my body looks," and like be all superficial. Like I know that, okay? I know obviously like you should be a good human being, and like you should be remembered as like how you treat other people and how you make other people feel and everything. Like it's not that important at the end of the day. And if somebody wants to date you, love you, they don't just see your body as the only thing that matters, okay? Like I've also felt like it's not only like that one bad relationship that got me like fucked up over my body image, but like I've had other experiences where I don't feel that way. I feel so loved and appreciated, and I feel so happy with the way I look. But some days you just feel so bad, and like I guess most of them is correlated to like social media. So maybe like turn your fucking phone off. Maybe just don't go on the internet. But it's easy to say, but it's hard to do. I'm going off of a tangent, okay? But basically I'm just saying like I still have my bad days. They're just maybe a little less intense and less like long. I kind of feel bad about it, and then tomorrow I wake up and I'm like, oh, it's fine. Like it's really not that big of a deal, and I am not as like invested in it as much as I was before, because I realize like it's kind of like this thing that keeps coming and going, and I don't really that much control it. I know I do, but like maybe not. I don't know, whatever. Like maybe I haven't gone to that journey where I'm like super accepting of myself, but it has gotten a little bit better, and I should be so proud of how far I've come. I don't know, like a couple of years ago, comparing my relationship with my body was so much worse and just fucked up, that like now I am so proud to say that I am at least in this space and time where I do not hate myself as much, you know? During COVID is when my relationship with food was so bad. I think it was like on its all-time low, and I remember just like restricting myself and like eating carbs and not allowing myself to eat like junk food. But then it's so fucking funny because it's like as soon as I don't allow myself any of these things, I go on like sessions where I completely binge on all these things, and I would go buy myself like so much snacks and like eat so much food that I quote unquote aren't supposed to eat, and then I would feel so bad about it, and I would just go on this like cycle of like hating myself, giving myself so much food that I shouldn't be consuming so much, and then because I keep restricting myself and I can't help it, and then I do that, and it's so fucked up because I remember like at some point I don't know if I have like developed an eating disorder of some sort. I'm sure like maybe if it's not eating disorder, it's like eating disordered adjacent, or it's like I don't know, like it's bad. I don't even really want to get into it, but COVID is when I was just like really struggling so badly. I'm glad that now that I've discovered gym and like eating proper nutritious meals to fuel myself has helped me come such a long way, because I don't think I would revert back to those eating habits anymore where I'm like just completely restricting myself and letting myself only eat like vegetables and protein and like no carbs at all. And I remember like feeling so like weak and not happy, and just like I don't feel like I'm fueled up to like do anything that I want to do. The thing that has helped me the most is clearly like going to the gym and eating right. But another thing too is like going outside. I like realized the times where I was like stuck indoors all the time is when I would ruminate on my body image issues the most, and it would just like hit me the hardest because I wasn't doing anything with my body and I was just kind of sitting there. So I did feel like shitty about my lack of activity and like about like my routine and like my habits. I was just not happy about it. In the summertime, like I would always go hiking with my friends and like go to the beach and go like beach hopping and go maybe like kayaking and like scuba diving, whatever. Like I was physically moving my body in ways I enjoyed instead of feeling like it's a punishment or oh, I have to burn this amount of calories off because I ate this junk food last night. Like it wasn't like that. Then that's when I like stopped putting so much focus on how my body looked, but how my body could function and help me and like do the things that I love. So I think it is important to like go outside, honestly. It's also kind of scary because I know like growing older, the older you get, the more your body's gonna not look at its prime, and I'm gonna have to find a way to accept how it looks and not beat myself over it, because I do not want to spend a lifetime beating myself over how I look, especially if I'm just going to get older. And getting older means your body's not going to look the best, and you have to be okay with it. And like, maybe I might gain weight. These are so scary to think about. And since I'm like at my prime right now, I want to have a good relationship with my body. I really, really do. And I'm trying, like, I'm doing the things that I know now to like better have a better relationship with my body. For example, like staying active and like feeding myself good food and eating clean, and also allowing myself to eat junk food, and also allowing myself to like indulge all like sometimes. And maybe I can skip a couple of days where I don't exercise or go to the gym, and it's totally fine. I shouldn't like kick myself over that. And also like getting enough sun, really, and like also surrounding yourself with people that are like, I don't know, more or less like more positive about their body image. Maybe have people that are a little bit more uplifting. If you can't do that for yourself, maybe like try surrounding yourself with people that are a lot more positive, and maybe you see your body a little differently. It's so funny because like this podcast episode has nothing to do with like, here are the things that like help me with my body image. I don't really know. I'm just telling you how I've been like going through it, and like my experience with it all. And like, it's not been the easiest. It's actually been, I don't know, not to be dramatic, but I feel like body image is like a big thing that I've been struggling with over the years, especially like growing into my body, whatever. Like, it's really tough. I'm just grateful and happy that it's not as tough as it was when I was 16 or 17, 18, 19. It's better. It's so much better. I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's like better. And I'm hopefully when I turn, I don't know, like my late 20s to like 30s, I'm going to have an even more positive body experience of myself, because I don't like to live like that. And like, as much as I can be like, all right, let me delete Instagram and delete social media so I don't compare myself anymore, it's not realistic. Like, we live in this day and age where like, I don't know, like it's just, everyone's just on the internet. And like, I have deleted Instagram before, but now I'm just like, I need to be stronger. Maybe I can still have Instagram and feel good about my body. I just gotta do the right things to make sure that when I do spiral, I can get myself out of it. That's honestly really is what it is. It's like, I'm not gonna try to stop myself from like spiraling and feeling bad about my body, because I know inevitably it will happen. But I need to know that I can trust myself to get myself out of that cycle, is what it is. Because like now I feel like those spiraling has gone a lot shorter and less intense over the years, and I've like kind of proven to myself that I could manage to get myself out of that when it does happen. So I don't feel as though like my life is falling apart when I feel that way. And I also know that I have a certain degree of control over whether or not I feel good in my own skin. And it's not even just like how I look, but like taking care of myself and all of that stuff that I just talked about. I think talking about this is just like therapeutic for me in a way, because I'm like, I just want people out there to know that like you're not alone in your body image struggles, whatever. Because I know like at my worst, I would want to listen to somebody talk about their struggles instead of just being like, self-love is like these 12-step things that you need to do to like, oh, like you have to follow this, whatever, like you have to read all these books and like do all these things. And like, honestly, sometimes it's not about the solution, because I feel like we all know what the solutions are. Like, we're not stupid. It's just like when days get so hard, it's so good to know that you're not alone. It's so good to know that like, all right, as much as I'm struggling with this, I know this other person out there is also having similar thoughts and feelings, and I'm not alone. I'm not defective. I'm not this fucked up person that just have all these like bad thoughts about their bodies. And like, or even the fact that I put so much emphasis on how I look and whether that is equated to like my self-worth. And like, I know it's not, like, duh, like I know obviously I have so much more to offer, and I know all of you guys know too, but it's good to know that like sometimes that shit takes over your brain, and sometimes you gotta cry about it, sometimes you gotta have shitty really bad days about it. But that's okay, because we all kind of experience that. Anything when it comes to like struggling, it helps me the most is when I know that I'm not alone. Or it's when I can listen to somebody like talk about their experience, and I'm like, I resonate with like these parts, not all, but maybe like some parts of it. Like, it suddenly makes this whole experience more human, because when you're on the internet and you're looking at all these pictures of people, feel like you can't live up to the standards, and oh my god, I'm so unlovable because I don't have this body type, or I don't look a certain way, because they're all so perfect and everything's so like, you know what I mean? You see a little bit of human in these people, or like at least you try to tell yourself like, all these people that look so quote unquote perfect, I know their experience it's never like perfect as they portrayed it online. I'm sure like everyone has their little journey as to like how they have come into being more accepting of themselves. It takes away the pressure a little bit, because even if they posted a perfect picture of themselves, I know that they probably had their struggles. I can't really be like comparing myself at my lowest to someone's like perfect highlight, you know? I think it's just like one of those things where you just gotta keep reminding yourself there's not really like a quick all solution to this. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. I don't really know if I have more to say on this topic, but I enjoy babbling and yabbling, and thank you for listening. If you guys tune in till this last minute, damn, like that's crazy, and I'm honored to have anyone listen to me up to this point, because what the fuck do you mean? And also like for my last podcast episode, I honestly was like, I don't know, like I had a posting on the internet is scary, okay? And I know that I'm just gonna get even more comfortable with it the more I post. But I remember like when I posted my first episode, I wanted to delete that shit like the morning after. I was like, oh my god, what the fuck have I, like, I'm like, I don't know if I like the things I said. I don't know if it's gonna resonate. I was gonna not delete it, but I was gonna put it on private so no one could see it. And then I noticed there was like 100 views, and I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck? Like, people actually are listening to this? Like, this is crazy. And like having people like comment on my video and saying that like they resonated, or like they like my content or like my video, that's insane. Like, I remember having to sit there and being like, what do you mean people are looking at this and people are commenting and people are like watching my videos and like having a positive experience with it? Like, my brain can't like comprehend. And now the fact that I have so like, to me, okay, I don't know how many comments I have, but I'm like, all these people like commenting on my video, it's crazy. And like having like 1,000 views, it's insane to me. Like, what do you mean you guys are all tuning in? I'm honestly just like posting podcasts because I think it's therapeutic for my own little brain to just like put it out there. So I never really expect any sort of engagement, but the fact that there is, I'm nothing but grateful. And it has also helped me become a little bit more confident, maybe, as to like, okay, maybe the things that I say do have maybe positive impact on other people. I don't know. I'm just at least glad that like what I'm saying is resonating. And yeah, I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Maybe let me know in the comments what you want me to talk about, because I don't really come in here like all prepared and scripted. I really just like think of like a vague topic and I'm like, all right, let's babble on. But anyways, love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Bye bye. See you guys next time. I'll probably upload in a week. Okay, shut up. Goodbye. No more talking anymore. Okay, love you. Bye.